Oh, Yolanda Bones. Oh, nothing. Just getting sleepy. I take some medicine for my asthma and my allergies, and it's starting to kick in. Gets me very drowsy. So, I figured I had to go running off my earlier stream. So, I wanted to end this in a better place. So, I was going to do like 20 more minutes and then go get some sleep. How are you doing? Oh no, I'll be good. Hi, Zayed Ibrahim. Just 20 more minutes. I had to go in mid conversation because my boyfriend called right then, so I wanted to make sure he got home safely. But he's got home safely, so now I can rest easy. So 20 minutes starting now. Okay. The price controller example shown in listing 5-4 shows a complete example that uses this template. Yes. Hi, Denisha Walton Murphy. You've been popping in a few times. Thank you very much. Oh, Diary Brim, that's very kind of you. I do appreciate subs. Thank you very much for subscribing. All right. I like to show this part because I don't like to say all of the little things. Listing 5-4 using different types for a template parameter. Has to include IOStream using namespace standard, template, type name T, class, something for everyone. Public team member, template, int max price, class price controller, public, int price, void test price. If price is greater than max price, see out too expensive, inline. Int main, something for everyone. Angle brackets inside just for me dot member equals 2. See out just for me dot member inline. Const int Fred max price equals 30. Price controller with the angle brackets, Fred max price. Fred's toaster dot price equals 15. Fred's toaster dot test price. Price controller with the angle brackets, Fred max price. Fred's drawing set dot price equals 45. Fred's drawing set dot test price. Constant Julie max price equals 60. Price controller with angle brackets and Julie max price inside. Julie's car dot price equals 80. Julie's car dot test price return 0. Each person gets a different class. You can see that Fred gets a class called price controller with angle brackets, Fred max price inside. Julie, however, gets a class called price controller, Julie max price inside the angle brackets. And remember, these really are different classes. The compiler created 2 different classes, one for each item passed in as a template parameter. And notice that the parameters are constant integer values. Fred max price is a constant integer holding 30. Julie max price is a constant integer holding 60. For the first one, price controller, Fred max price, inside angle brackets, we created 2 instances of that class. And for the second one, price controller with Julie Max Price inside angle brackets, we created one instance. Remember, the compiler really does create two separate classes, one called price controller Fred Max Price and one called price controller Julie Max Price. These are as separate as they would be if you typed in two separate classes, one called price controller Fred Max Price and one called price controller Julie Max Price. They aren't separate instances of a class. They are separate classes. Oh, Deja Walton Murphy, thank you for saying that. It's very kind of you. So far in this section, we've shown you that you can use a type as a template parameter or a value of a certain type. You can also use a class as a template parameter. The following list describes each type of parameter. Value parameters. The ANSI standard calls these non-type parameters, but we like value better. You can give the type a name for a value in the parameter, as in template int max price. But for some reason, the ANSI standard forbids you from using a floating point value here, as in template float max price, or a class as in template my class inst, or a void type as in template void nothing. But you're free to use pointers. So template float star max price is allowed, and so are template my class star inst and template void star max price. Although in general you should avoid void star because it's not very useful. Try to be more specific with your pointers, as in int star max price. Type name parameters. You can use a type as a parameter to a class, as in template type name T. You then use a type when you ask the compiler to create the class based on the template. And when you use type name, you have to make sure that you actually use it as a type inside the class. Don't just pass a variable for the parameter. Class parameters. Remember that a class is in itself a type, so you can pass a class name when your template requires a type. But remember that we're not talking about passing an instance of a class to the template. We're talking about passing a class itself by specifying its name in the template parameter. Remember, the GNU GCC compiler that's used for code colon blocks corrects a strange error message that other compilers must provide when you use something you're not supposed to inside a template. The problem is these older compilers don't give an error message for the line that has the word template in it, such as template float max price. Instead, they give two error messages for the line that tries to create the class based on the template, such as price controller, Fred Max Price, Fred's toaster. Here are the two messages we saw. Denisha Walton Murphy, thank you very much. Please have a great night. Sorry about that. Yeah, I will definitely see you when you have more time. Thank you. Sorry if you already went to sleep and I missed you. Non-constant Fred Max Price cannot be used as template argument ANSI C++ for its declaration Fred toaster with no type. Parameterizing with a class. When you okay. let's back up. Continuing on from the last page. When working with code, colon blocks, you still see the messages associated with the class creation when there is an error in your code. However, you also see the following message, which tells you precisely where the problem lies. Error.float is not a valid type for a template non-type parameter. Now going back to parameterizing with the class. When your template is expecting a class for its parameter, remember a class, not an instance of a class, you can use the word type name in the template parameter as we did in the examples in this chapter. You would then instruct the compiler to create a class based on the template by passing the class name into the template. As in my container, my class, inst. Typically, you would use a class called a container as a template parameter if you have a template that you intend to hold instances of a class. However, instead of using the word type name, you can instead use the word class, like so. Template, class T, class, my container, public, team member. But whichever you use, type name of class really doesn't matter. According to the C++ ANSI standard, the word type name and the word class are interchangeable when used in a template parameter. Including multiple parameters. You're not limited to only one parameter when you create a template. For example, the standard C++ library has a template called map. The map template works like an array, but instead of storing things based on an index as you would in an array, you store them based on an object called a key. In other words, you store things in an array in pairs. The first item in the pair is called a key, and the second item is called a value. To retrieve an item from map, you specify the key, and you get back the value. When you create a class based on the map template, you specify the two types map will hold. One for the key and one for the value. Note that we said the types that map will hold, not the objects or instances it will hold. After you specify the types, the compiler creates a class, and inside that class you can put the instances. To show how this works, instead of using the actual map template, we're going to make our own template that works similarly to a map. Instances of classes based on this template will hold only as many items as you specify when you create the class, whereas a real map doesn't have any limitations beyond the size of the computer's memory. These days, that means map can hold just about as much as you want. So load up on map items. The multiple parameters example shown in listing 5-5 demonstrates our map template. Listing 5-5 using multiple parameters with templates. Hashtag include IOStream using namespace standard template type name K template type name K type name V int S class IMAP protected K key square braces with the S inside V value square braces with the S inside bool use square braces with the S inside int count int find K a key int I for I go 0 for as long as I is less than s, increment I. If used I equals false, continue. If key I equals a key, return I. Return -1. Int find next available. Int I for I equals 0. As long as I is less than s, increment I. If used I equals false, return I. Return -1. Public, my map, int I for I equals 0. For as long as I is less than s, increment I, used I equals false. Void set k a key, v a value, int I equals find a key. If I is greater than -1, value I equals a value, else listing 5-5 continued. I equals find next available. If I is greater than -1, key I equals a key, value I equals a value, used I equals true, else cout, sorry, full inline, v get k a key, int I equals find a key. If I equals -1, return 0, else return value with the straight braces with the I inside. Int main my map, angle braces with char, comma, int, comma 10, comma 10. Inside my map dot set x, comma 5. My map dot set q, comma 6. My map dot set x, comma 10. Cout my map dot get x inline. Cout my map dot get q inline. Return 0. When you run this application, you'll see this output 10, 6. This listing is a good exercise, not just for your fingers as you type it in, but for understanding templates. Notice the first line of the template. Definition. Template with the angle braces, type name K, comma, type name V, comma, int S. This template takes not one, not two, but count them, 3 parameters. The first is the type, and we use it as the key for map, so we call it K. The second is the type, and we use it as the value for map, so we call it V. The value is S, and it's not a type. Instead, S is an integer value. It represents the maximum number of pairs that map can hold. The member functions that follow allow the user of any class based on the map to add items to map and retrieve items from map. We didn't include any functions for removing items. You might think about ways you could add such an item. You might even take a look at the header files for the map template in the standard C++ library to see how the designers of the library implemented a removal system. Typifying a template. If there's a template that you use with particular parameters over and over, often just using typedef for the thing is the easiest way to go. For example, if you have a template like this, template, angle brackets with type name T inside, class cluck, public T chicken, and you find yourself using cluck int with angle braces around it over and over, you can typedef this as in the following: typedef cluck with angle braces int cluck num. Then anytime you need to use cluck with angle braces int in between, you can use cluck num instead. This demonstrates the use of cluck num. int main clucknum foghorn foghorn.chicken equals 1, return 0. Tip: we like to type def our templates because then the class name looks like a regular old class name rather than a template name. In the preceding example, we get to use the class name clucknum instead of the somewhat cryptic cluck int. And interestingly, if you're working as part of a team of programmers and the other programmers aren't as knowledgeable about templates as you are, they tend to be less intimidated if you type def the template. That way you get to use a regular name and they won't have a brain overload when they see your code. But don't tell them what we said. Remember, when the compiler creates a class based on a template, people say that the compiler is instantiating the template. We know. Most people use the word instantiate to mean that you create an object based on a class. But if you stretch your imagination, you can see how the template itself is a type from which you can create other types. And thus, a class based on a template is actually an instance of a template. And the process of creating a class based on a template is called template instantiation. Tip: when you use a type def to give a simpler name to a specific class based on a template, the compiler instantiates the class based on the template. Or to put it another way, the compiler instantiates the template class. Well, that's going to be it for this. My time's up. And also, that's a great place to start up tomorrow. I was wondering if you were going to pop up. Yeah, I had to, my boyfriend called, so I had to bow. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a crazy way to end the stream, especially since I technically don't expect to have to wake up too early tomorrow. So I just did a third stream, and now this one's ending, but this time without the immediacy that my earlier stream did. Yeah, you didn't miss much, just like, I don't know, 4 pages. Your finger slipped on what? I don't know what F8. What does your finger slipped on fab mean? I'm lost right now. I need this light off. My eyes can only take so much brightness. That's one thing I definitely picked up during grad school is dry eye syndrome. Seriously, what is fab? No, it's just gonna leave me hanging. Oh, jab. Yeah, that product. Like I tried to warn him that he technically wasn't like he wasn't not time outable because you're imagining, and I know you said you've done that before. Oh, sorry. I'm seeing Fab, but it's Jab. I think his name's Jason or something. He was saying that JAB is the first letter of his first and middle and last name, I think. Your fear slipped on. Yeah, well, we both tried to say about the spamming, so whether it was accidental, either way, we were trying to say, we were trying to say. I'm like, hey, could you just cut it down a bit? Some people are like to be here and not have to worry about having to go do a different thing. Well, anyway, um, now I'm on page 100 and not 100, hello, 548, and then this chapter is going to end on page 560. So might be able to, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It is my channel, somewhat sort of like that. Still, he seemed like super interested in trying to get to the goal, so I was trying to help in some kind of way. But yeah, that was a little too spammy, a little bit. It was like way less spammy with the dancing stream. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that. That sounds like a plan. Go get some Z's. I technically have done everything that I need to do as far as everything outside of change clothes and get sleep. So I'm gonna work on that part. All right, Ryan. Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing Tuesday Grooving tomorrow, and then after that, some more C++ for dummies. So, good night to you, Ryan or Dina. And good night to anyone who is here who I missed. Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't really know. Okay, that's something that I wish we would talk about more, but like not today. I'm not really feeling it today. But during the dancing stream, you were saying some things that I was like thinking like, oh, I wish we had talked more about that. But I'm also just kind of just trying to mellow a little. So I don't know who needs, see, that's the thing. I don't know who needs a requirement of computer science master. Not to say that's not a thing. I just think it's like, anyway, let's talk about that tomorrow. Please remind me. I'm sure it exists. I just don't know how often. I just don't know how. Anyway, my main thing is I keep talking myself out of trying. So you're right, though. I should just uh, throw that spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks, sort of, though. Somebody's bound to. All right, if you can remember, if I can remember, I'm sure it'll come up again. Just throw at the wall and see what sticks. Okay, so it works for you, okay? Oh, yo, fantastic. Congratulations. I know we were talking about it like, I know we were talking about that like, what was that? The end of November? You were seeing what, it was either the end of November or the beginning of December, and you were saying that you were going for an interview, and I was worried I was keeping up too late. So was it that or was it a different one? You know, you got a point. It's probably not that hard. It's just my in my mind, I'm just so used to just the school thing and not the work thing, and I just it's probably easy. Different? Oh, okay. Well, either way, I'm happy for you. That's really good. All right. Well, I'll keep trying to stay positive about yeah, pretty much. It's just I got to be better at income and all that business. I swear. I don't like messing with that crap, but I also like not being homeless, so I need to figure that out like soon. Didn't you, Walter Murphy? Hi again. You sure are. Sorry, I had to close out the stream. Um, last one because my boyfriend called and I had to go, but this time I'm about to close it on purpose so I can go get some sleep. But tomorrow I am hoping to do some Tuesday Groovin live, and then after that, some more C++ All-In for Dummies. So yeah, I literally have them as separate streams. The dancing from the C++. Yeah, it's definitely time for some sleep. All right. Denisha Walton Murphy, thank you very much. You have a pleasant evening. Ryan Herdina, congratulations. It's really great. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna get comfy, warm clothes on and a nice blanket time. C++, you read it all the time? That's cool. C++ is a programming language for computers. It's a computer programming language. It's based off of C, but it adds some extra things that makes it object-oriented program. Yes, I think you're right, Denisha Walton Murphy. You get some sleep. Me too. I'm feeling it too. I need to chillax a bit more, get some nice sleepy time. Yeah, so if you're interested, Mads, I'm planning on doing Tuesday Groovin' live, which is improv dancing. And then shortly after that, I'll do another one of these streams like I'm doing today, but tomorrow. And I'll continue on with my reading of C++ All-In-One For Dummies, third edition. All right, friends. This is me signing off so I can go and take care of self-care stuff. Why not? That's a good thing to do. So good night, Mads. Good night, Denisha Walton Murphy. Good night, Rainer Dina. And good night to anyone I may have missed. And Rainer Dina, you also stay warm, please. Okay. If anyone happens to check this out in the future, it's possible. Whenever, wherever, whatever, however, just make the most of it. That's the most important part. Bye bye.